Hey, welcome to Agile Octane.
Today we're going to be talking about something I learned in this little book called Stop Starting and Start Finishing.
But first, a scene from my afternoon. Hey, Reagan.
Hey.
Man, I got a problem. We only have 1 hour before we got to pick your sister up at volleyball practice.
Okay.
And I got loads of stuff I need done. You mind helping me out? I'm going to give you some cash if you do.
I don't mind.
All right, so there's 3 things I need to get done. We only have an hour, so I don't know. We'll have to choose what we can get done. But
Okay.
I got $20 for you if you can cut that grass right there.
Okay.
I got another job washing the car. If you want to try to take that on, I got $20 for you there. Wash and dry the car.
Okay.
And then the deck, we need to blow it off, get rid of all the spider webs, all that kind of good stuff.
Okay.
I got $10 for that.
All right, perfect.
You want to help out?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
I've done this grass a million times. I'm just gonna go ahead and knock it out. Man, it is so hot out here. Washing the car would be so much cooler with all the water. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Where in the world is that bucket? Ugh. Man, this is taking forever. I'm almost out of time. I better go ahead and start on the deck instead. Oh no, I'm out of gas.
Hey, Reagan, it's time to go get Zoe from volleyball practice. I'm looking in the front yard. Only half of it's cut. The car, it looks like half of it's washed. And the deck, it's like barely even blown off. What's going on?
About that.
Okay, so Danny, I can see why stop starting and start finishing applies to yard work, chores around the house. But why is it so important in the workplace?
Well, you're totally right. It can often be the exact same thing happening. I've seen just about everywhere I've worked. Leadership has propensity to spin up new ideas, new scope, things like that, way quicker than we could ever finish it. And so what happens over time is you've got lots of things halfway done, but nothing all the way done that we can really get value from in the marketplace. And so after a few months, 3 months, 6 months, lots of times you'll hear leadership complaining, we haven't released anything to production in the past 3 months or the 6 months, when the reality is we've got a bunch of stuff halfway done, just nothing much all the way done. So we've really got to think about skinning things down and limiting context switching.
All right, so in the real work world, I'm working on 3 different projects at once. How can I scale down and just work at one project at a time?
Oftentimes that may not even be a reality. That may not be possible, right? Because we sometimes don't have control over what it is we're working on. Leadership over us is kind of dictating that. As much as you can in your day-to-day, you want to limit that context switching as much as possible. So as best you can, try to batch work and work on it all at one time before you switch over and work on something else. Maybe it's even on a sprint-by-sprint basis. We want to finish one feature before we pick up another feature and not be spread too thin. Sometimes, due to load balancing and things like that, it might be okay to work on 2 features at once, and I get that. But the big principle is you don't want to be spread a mile wide and an inch deep. You'll never get anything done, and you won't be producing regular value to market.
So this seems pretty easy, but I can only imagine it takes quite a bit of effort to get going. So what are some action steps that we can apply now?
So like so many things in the Agile space and things we've talked about, this concept is really simple. Heck, my 7-year-old could read the book and understand where it's coming from. Simple, but not easy. And so this all comes down to making one tangible step tomorrow to better this thing. That might mean I'm going to block out half a day to work on this feature before I check on this other feature. Or maybe even batching my time and say I'm going to limit access to email personally for myself for 10 a.m. and noon instead of checking it every 5 minutes and losing focus on that. Find something tangible you can do to focus your effort and get it done. If you're in management though, just try this out. Have your teams that you're managing work on one feature or maybe one epic at a time and actually get it through to completion before you pick up another one. And you're going to find speed to market improve dramatically without increasing your capacity at all. What we're really doing is focusing our work. Lots of studies have been done on how disruptive context switching can be in your work world. And a lot of people say it's about 20% loss productivity when you context switch. So just like my daughter earlier this afternoon went from cutting the grass to washing the car, and she had to find a bucket and do all that kind of stuff. She lost productivity as she made that context switch. We tend to do that as well. And if you're working on 5 things at once and you lose 20% productivity between each of those 5, well, guess what? You're not really getting anything done. So as best you can, limit that context switching, limit the number of things you have in flight at any given time, and make one positive step tomorrow to that end. Awesome. Well, it's been good hanging out with you guys, but I gotta go cut half a yard and wash the other half of the car because she's gone and somebody's gotta do it. Have a good afternoon. See ya.